Creator creates, and we destroy, and we do all of it through you.
In this particular scene of Nefarious, this legion, which is like a group of demons that's speaking through this man, right? The man is a host, and the demons and the legion is speaking through him. And initially, it made a suggestion to James to have him and his girlfriend get married, keep the baby, live a family life, and then James would basically be operating from a sacrificial love point of view. And James says, no, it's complicated. And then the legion goes on to say, oh, do it thy will. That is the law, right? So basically, if anybody is not familiar with that, that is a Satanist perspective in terms of living your life according to your desires, right? Since we all have free will and no one is coerced or forced to do anything that they don't want to do, you do have the free will to engage in darkness or light. And the legion initially suggested the light, sacrificial love, right? Which means forsaking one's desires and carnal pleasures for the sum total of the whole for a bigger picture, a greater and a higher purpose. James says it's complicated. The legion basically says, okay, I see where you're coming from, right? You're operating through a do it thy will mentality. You want to live your life according to your Lord desires, pleasure seeking, and do whatever you want. And what I gather from that, a lot of us do operate from that point of view. We may not make proclamations of darkness, but we engage in darkness every day. And many of us have submitted to that way of life by pleasure seeking and doing whatever we want for the temporary moment, but then we deal with permanent consequences. So although God has given us the free will, which the legion goes on in the scene to speak about how whatever the creator creates, he says we, the legion, right? Demonic activity, oppositional energy to God, to everything that's righteous, good, and holy, convinces man that through your free will, you have the right to destroy God's creation, including yourself. Because doing whatever you want to do, even in your own free will, is self-destructive. So even within that paradigm of thinking, you are still destroying God's creation through yourself. And that is what Nefarious is about. Well, that particular scene. And I just thought that was just worthy of me breaking that down. I actually spoke about this in my original audio and it got cut out. Very interesting indeed. But I talked about how in the book of Enoch, when we look at the watchers, the angels, the watchers in the Nephilim, he talks about how these ancient spirits, right? We can call them demons, we can call them giants, we can call them whatever. But these fallen angels, how ancient they are and how sophisticated and very tricky they are to get man through the spirit, through the seed of suggestion to engage in a legal consent to be a host of demonic behavior, which in essence is a rebellion against the creator itself, which is God Almighty. I call him El Shaddai. But, we are in a day and time where these beings are so sophisticated. They need a physical form to have a playground and just kind of treat Earth like it's whatever. And many of us are engaging on our day to day, right? So this is not harsh judgment or condemnation. Many of us, through ignorance, which the Bible does speak about that, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. If we look at where we are, our spiritual foundation is null and void for the most of us. And so every day we engage in the legal consent through the spirit of suggestion to be rebellious against God. And then we wonder why our world is flipped upside down and we are engulfed in darkness. This is because of the sophistication of these beings. They have basically tricked humanity to believe that there is no God and that there is no devil and that there is nothing outside of yourself. But that's not true. And we know that's not true just based on our limited functions as well as our mortality. And our prophets who have come before us have warned us of this, as well as the ministry of Christ equips us to handle this through the full armor of God and how we can seek deliverance away from this, as well as how we can gain back our spiritual authority when it comes to these seeds of suggestion by way of culture. And so I just thought that this movie was amazing. Okay. It is worthy to look into.